Good evening. A few days ago, Sunday morning my time, I published two deleted live streams from Foodie Beauty. Both of those streams got deleted within a few hours, and I wasn't even aware the second stream was going on until Scar screamed at me to download this video before it's deleted. I actually wasn't able to download the first video because it was still processing in YouTube until it got deleted. So I actually recorded it from Malakimeter. And this video actually blew up, at least in terms of my videos. And YouTube Analytics told me that at least 500 of those views came from YouTube recommendations, which might mean that YouTube algorithm kind of picked up on it. There has been many streams and videos done about the situation that's going on, but I decided to give my take on it. Uh, and Some of the things I'm going to say are going to sound like a conspiracy theory, but just roll with it. I'm fully aware that I might be shooting up the wrong chunky. Either way, a few weeks before those deleted streams, there was a long stream that Foodie Beauty did that uh, I don't even remember, but I think it started out as a normal stream, but then Foodie Beauty got the flash idea to go see some camels and perhaps feed them those carrots that she had displayed on her massive grocery hauls that she never actually eats herself. So in the way to see the camels and in the way back, Salah got pretty bold with Chantal, with expressing his frustration with Chantal's toddler-like behavior and caprices and her need for ice cream. And when they actually arrived at home a little bit before arriving at the parking lot, Salah actually got her ice cream, and then when they were in the parking lot, they well, let's just say they kind of had a fight when where Salah was actually mm, telling Foodie Beauty off on some things that we also feel about Foodie Beauty, and there were signs of light domestic violence, which which is not important, but it might be useful to know uh, for the conspiracy sounding part. Either way, there was Foodie Beauty made made an next stream quite quickly after the long live stream, telling us that Salah and both agreed that I was overreacting and it was just an emotional response, and actually Salah loves me very much and well a little bit more, and she would have told us that he's the most handsomest hot husband. But anyway, then there were a few streams between, and uh, cat cat theft stream actually started out uh, I was at Yaba's stream at the time, and people told Yaba that she was live, and Yaba kind of reluctantly started to snipe, and I say reluctantly because it started out as a normal kind of boring stream where she was uh, eating, or was it, I don't know, she eats in so many streams that when there's a stream where she is not eating, it is kind of a miracle. Either way, it seemed like Chantal and Salah were continuing their annoyance with each other, and Salah was telling that, "Oh, let's eat some food and go sit on the beach outside and eat the food." And to which Foodie said, "No, I don't want to." Uh, be, well, it was close to that tone. And then Salah told her to let's go eat at the park, and Salah and Foodie reluctantly said, "Oh, we will see." But then a little bit later, which is actually, I think it was at least 90 minutes, because they arrived at, they arrived at the park at nearly 2 hour mark on the stream. So they arrived at the park and they started eating chicken. And in the park there were a lot of stray cats that gathered around humans, because I mean, you might be a cat, but you understand that when those big creatures come at the park, they often might share food. So Foodie actually had brought a bag of cat food with her, and she kind of threw the food on the ground, because those are the table manners fitting for stray cats. I don't mean to assume their sexuality. But either way, then Foodie started eating this chicken, and a funny little moment was that we kind of picked up on a moment where she uh, pretended to throw chicken at the cats, but her hand appeared to be empty. Sorry, it was this hand. I should. No one cares. But then when she threw that empty hand, she took a piece of chicken into the same hand and acted like she was going to throw, but then didn't, and said, "No, that's enough." And later on the stream, she somehow found some small kitten, and they started to say that they should took the kitten home, and and pretty much immediately Chantal started to express that actually they don't have enough money to feed the cat for uh, some reason. And to be fair, she wasn't lying that the first super chat came before she even asked for money. But anyway, the super chat came, and that triggered, or in case of the conspiracy theory, that boosted the confidence to share her PayPal information, which of course included the famous line, which is in different wordings for different grift people, but the gist is the same, that you should, instead of sending super chats, you should send this money directly to PayPal to avoid the percentage that YouTube takes. And I'm not sure, but perhaps if you if you choose the option friends and family in PayPal, the PayPal doesn't even take its usual 5% fee. Either way, she well she was collecting the money. I'm not going to describe the entire stream. And then they said that this kitten is actually sick, and look at her ears. Of course, she didn't zoom on her ear, didn't show a close up on her ear, so so no one can tell whether she actually the kitten whether he actually had air mites or not. Either way, they took the cat for a vet, and that vet was seemingly operating from one of those uh, warehouse boxes. And Salah actually went in because Chantal, she uttered a line as an excuse that, oh, a man is there, so it's not proper for me to go, even though she was wearing the hijab. But anyway, Salah was there for 5 minutes, and the camera was actually pointing at the shop. Uh, so the Salah and the vet, and it wasn't it certainly didn't seem like the vet was doing some blood test or the like with the kitten. And either way, the whole vet visit was roughly 5 minutes, so there wasn't even time to take the proper blood work. I mean, when I uh, submitted, it feels kind of a wrong word to use, kind of like objectifying. But if I submitted my cat uh, if I brought my cat to um, let the blood work be taken, then the results came back within a week because, well, uh, I'm assuming partly because it was the kind of vet that actually was a license, and a licensed vet that had a reputation. So I wasn't probably the only client. Either way, they took the cat back, and actually they went to some pet zone to buy some supplies for the cat. And during the whole time, actually starting from the very first mention of taking the cat, there were people in chat saying that they should give the cat back. And since the cat theft stream ended with the kitten in the car, uh, so the cat wasn't even brought into. They didn't even bring the cat to the home, and the stream footage started. The I believe it was the next day. She told us that she was forced to take the cat back, and she didn't specify who forced and what. But the um, uh, since I mentioned going a little bit conspiracy theory, and the little fight that Salah and Chantal had, in their long live stream, which was nothing to do with the kitten and actually had to do with the camels. The reason I mentioned it is because the cat theft stream also started with a little bickering between those two, where it was clear that it was that they were annoyed with each other. But if you were to believe that the cat theft, which she of course tells that, oh, they were just rescuing a cat that was dying. But if you were, for argument's sake, to agree that the cat theft was premeditated, the that would mean that they were actually planning to go to the bog, which in turn would mean that um, their little fighting, annoyance fighting in the beginning of the stream, which actually started with, which included Salah mentioning going eating at the beach, not at the bog, and only after Foodie said no, Salah uh, proposed to go to the bog, to which Foodie said, "Oh, maybe if you were to assume that the cat theft was premeditated and planned, that would mean obviously that they were planning to go to the bog, which would mean that this fight at the beginning of the stream might have been staged, which could actually mean that the fight that they had a few weeks ago in the car was actually and in the way to see the camels, that this fight was also a little bit staged, and the uh, we as reaction channels were reacting to the stream at the time that, oh shit, Salah would put his hand on Chantal and kind of pushed her face slightly and threw water on her. And if you now consider that this stream that started with a little fight and ended with taking the cat, if you now consider that this fight at the start of this stream was staged, that would mean that there is a possibility that the bigger fight in the car was also staged, and it was actually all part of the plan to go to the same park that they actually had stalked a few times before, because for some reason they knew exactly, uh, even though they claimed that they claimed in the stream that they didn't see the mama cat. In the next stream where they went to um, film the kitten, it was actually they, for some reason, they knew exactly where to put the kitten for her to find her mom. Even though actually cats have a heightened sense of smell, so it, so if humans with their big noses aren't able to differentiate between two different smelling cats, the cats are obviously able to, which means that maybe they didn't know exactly the place, but the um, general area. But either way, they found the mama kitten, the mama cat suspiciously quickly. But either way, her the second stream that I archived actually, for the joy of reaction channels, it actually started out as her usual stream where she was like well, she was already aware that reaction channels. Well, she ignored the fact that some of her own chat told to put the cat back, but she was blaming the reaction channels and also firing up a community post which she deleted pretty quickly and didn't even have any hope to make money of those community posts, because that's that's not how YouTube works. Anyway, she was already going off on reaction channels. That reaction channels actually forced her to bring the cat back to the park. And now that if the well now if the kitten died, that would be the fault of reaction channels for some reason. And but in the middle of the stream, actually, her own chat member told her that the organization, one of the organizations that she actually was recommended to contact, as far as I remember, Pause Kuwait actually posted on their page. I'm assuming Instagram page, because well, they have an Instagram page. They posted that actually a rescue worker from their part, Sania, was assigned to this case, and Sania actually went to the park and rescued the kitten, that the kitten with many names that Foodie Beauty is calling Bruce, and which means that Pause actually is also using the code name Bruce. But anyway, Pause Kuwait and more specifically Sania saved Bruce and Bruce's sister and Bruce's mom, and well, those three kittens plus two kittens plus the mom are actually going to be adopted to the United States, but that's not really important now. I'm just going to mention that it's beautiful that actually the young kittens aren't separated from each other and from their mom. But anyway, she was notified that Pause was doing that, and her brain immediately went to overdrive as to how to spin the narrative to basically blame the haters, which of course included the fact that haters convinced Pause Kuwait to take action, and how dare the uh, haters not allow her to rescue a dying cat, and how dare the haters get actual animal rescue involved, and well, she also mentioned that she's considering leaving to Kuwait. Actually, she didn't even say consider. She said that she's leaving Kuwait because she doesn't want to be in a country where rescuing a cat is considered breaking the law, which actually isn't the case, because Foodie Beauty focuses on whatever fits her narrative the best, but actually, if she had if she had just taken the cat, that could actually be, uh, and I know this sounds rude to cats, inconsiderate to cats, but that could be, there would nothing legal wise that the law could have done. But actually, the problem was not the fact that Foodie took the cat. The problem was that Foodie asked for donations, to donations for the cat, and in Kuwait actually it is illegal to ask donations to something, if you are not a registered organization that has gained permission from the government to uh, collect money. I'm I'm not going into deeper into that because I the details might be a little bit different. The organization might be forbidden to collect their finances directly, but they have to redirect the fund. Oh, okay, I'm not. Either way, with the thing that Fodi did, that which was illegal, was collecting funds. And actually, since the collecting funds part is illegal, not taking the cat, it appears that since there are traces of Foodie Beauty asking for donations unrelated to the cat, to the latest cat incidents, the snowball is kind of growing bigger and bigger the obviously, since collecting donations was illegal in the cat case, the same applies to her earlier mm, uh, askings for donations. And since in legal world, there is a necessity, well, perhaps not a necessity, but a something that is recommended to do is that you have to show the character of um, the accused, and we, which is actually why the latest voice note from Sania actually, Sania told in her latest voice note that they actually have footage of Foodie Beauty filming the oil fields, and Freya's cats, Freya's poser cats, actually asked in last night's stream, I guess Scar's stream. I mean the chat, not that she was in panel, but she asked in the chat, why is the filming of oil fields actually connected? And Sonia said in her voice note that as a COVID, as a Kuwaiti citizen, she feels obliged to report this very illegal thing, and the filming of Kuwait oil fields actually took place a few weeks before I came into Girl World. So I didn't actually witness the oil fields filming the oil fields themselves, but I have heard about this, and I have heard that Foodie was basically told that it was illegal, and now 2.5 years later, actually it seems like the illegal filming of oil fields actually comes back to bite her in the freedom, perhaps, or in the wallet. but but either way, Freya asked why filming of oil fields was important, to which I said that well, basically that it might be relevant as to show the character of Foodie Beauty, and actually the thought process, at least my thought process, is that as a lawyer or simply a Kuwaiti citizens like Sania, if you if you have footage that shows the character of the accused, and if the footage that shows the character of the accused shows the accused committing a crime, that basically that's just collateral damage, even though it's not directly related to the initial crime that the accused was reported for. And actually, the video has probably already taken a long time, but I actually wanted to sort of go over Foodie Beauty's character, and if it pleases the court, I would like to play a video here.
I hope you're going to heal. I hope you heal very quickly. Get well soon. And in Arabic, we say salamat. I'm Arabic.
Foodie Beauty is not a rabbit. Foodie Beauty is a runaway white woman who wears a hijab because her face is too fat. And if it sounds insensitive to the religion of Islam, there is actually footage of her in a live stream asking whether a hijab does a good job hiding her face fat, then proceeding to ask whether she should only wear the hijab if she was Islamic. By the way, Islamic is the word she uses, not me confusing the correct way to speak. And then when the partner, the stream partner of that particular stream, told her that yeah, probably Foodie Beauty took a momentary pause and said, okay, I'm Islamic now, and that happened. I didn't personally witness the stream, neither directly or via reaction channels, but it seems like this uh, incident happened on the 5th of August. Then somewhere, in the I cannot check the dates right now. Then somewhere, perhaps late August 2022, so the same month, she did a live stream which she titled "Who Wants Citizenship," which the stream is actually available in my channel. The stream is not very noteworthy, but a particular moment that I would like to point out is that somewhere in the middle of the stream, someone from her own chat actually told her that with a stream title like this, she might attract marriage scammers, which Foodie of course laughed off because I don't remember, but I guess she said that she's too smart to follow to fall for marriage scammers. Either way, it appears that a little bit later, the at the end of October 2022, she went on Tinder, set her location on international, and not only that, she also included a WhatsApp number in her on her Twitter profile, and then on the very next day, I mean, according to her, the very next day, she received a message from someone and was like, that's all according to her. She was hesitant, so she didn't reply or something along those lines. But then she actually was contacted in WhatsApp by the same person, and when she tells us the story in her latest streams, she of course tweets the details, but the gist of it is that yes, that she went on Tinder, but she kind of glosses over the detail that she put her Tinder on international and put on her WhatsApp number on this international Tinder profile. Either way, the way she tries to romanticize it is that Salah tried to talk to her on Tinder, and she was a little bit hesitant because she was sick of dudes. But then a little bit later, Salah messaged her on WhatsApp that, well, it actually conveys conveys the detail that Salah must have gotten her number somehow. But since Chantal she is actively not communicating this detail is kind of hopefully glossed over uh, by her Bezos. Either way, she and Salah actually talked for a few days, uh, which sometimes is a few weeks, because the details are a little bit murky, and not because reaction channels actually are confused, but because there are signs that she actually talked with Salah before she made it public knowledge on her stream that she is talking to Salah. Either way, she also romanticizes the part of she coming to Kuwait. She says that in the first messages she kind of told Salah that she isn't too familiar with Kuwait, and she hadn't been in Kuwait, to which Salah had the magnificent confidence to say, you will, uh, meaning that you will come to Kuwait. Either way, Foodie traveled to Kuwait, and then she got married to that guy immediately, as she said. But actually, although they allegedly posted some picture to either Instagram or YouTube community page of one relatively normal sized hand and one ballooned up hand wearing rings on their ring finger, saying that it is official, we got married. But that is also, of course, deleted, and somewhere at the end of January 2023, Foodie posted a video of their courthouse marriage, which Well, of course, when reaction channels, well, we don't directly. I mean, we don't always directly say that, oh, show us proof that you are married, but we kind of infer that she is actually not married. And by the way, Sania also chimes in on the marriage, but I mean, indirectly. By the way, the courthouse marriage is supposed to, uh, whenever Foodie Beauty tries to say that they are married, she points us to the courthouse marriage video and says that all the proof is right there. But actually, and a lot of sometime later, I mean, I don't know what I was trying to word there, but either way, Milk Tea has had reacted to their courthouse video, but at that time I wasn't aware of Milk Tea's channel, and actually I recently only looked on Milk Tea's older videos and decided to watch her reaction to the courthouse marriage video. And I'm not trying to shade reaction channels here, but people often point out Milk Tea as a person who is clever with the facts, or something along those lines. And actually, when I was watching Milk Tea reacting to courthouse marriage, Milk Tea actually found the exact points that I noted myself. I mean, I didn't react to that video, but the same points that I noted myself, which is basically, and it's not like it's something that requires uh, genius level genius level intelligence. What her courthouse marriage video shows is that they film a building from outside. I would say an official looking building, but how can a building look official? I mean, didn't it wasn't decorated like some kind of palace or king's tower or anything, but it was a decent looking building, which is what I'm trying to say. She filmed that building. Then she filmed themselves allegedly inside this building, and also because it was so important, she filmed the elevator ride up, and then she filmed standing at basically, if you have seen any kind of or been in any kind of official building, then before the actual room, let's say courtroom, because of the context, before the courtroom there is a waiting area, and the actual door that leads to the courtroom has all kind of signs in not in front of the door because you couldn't get in, but on the wall next to the door. And she basically filmed that, and the next scene was her and Salah outside the building that will look the same building as the one they were filming, and I believe they were holding hands, and someone was yelling "Mabru, Mabru," which means congratulations, or I assume it does. And actually, the funny thing is that a that a stream that they did before, or no, it was a video vlog. They filmed on a couple channel of them both going on a date, and well, if you on the back of your mind assume that Salah was a marriage scammer, then that would fit. That obviously, in the very first times they were together, Salah was trying to impress her, but as part of impressing her, he had I don't know. We assume it was rented. Perhaps it was. Perhaps Salah actually owned this item of clothing. Either way, Salah had a white suit jacket on for the date, and that would make it funny that in the contrast, the courthouse marriage video, Salah was wearing jeans, a grey t-shirt, and some unzipped jacket on top of that uh, uh, leather jacket. And actually, Salah was actually holding up. I don't have any document covers here, but basically, why should I need it? Salah was holding a rolled up paper in his other hand, and well, they looked exactly like the kind of plastic covers you put over something to protect the paper, but since they are only thin plastic covers, they don't. Well, it is not recommended to hold papers of high value or perceived high value in those. So Salah was holding this piece of paper, which gives off the impression that many reaction channels have actually mentioned that perhaps Salah had something like a parking ticket, or something that required him to appear in an official building, but the document was actually not something as valuable as the marriage certificate. Either way, Salah and Chantal, or Salah and Chantal, or have actually had multiple places of living during the Kuwait arc, and the apartment that they have stayed the longest in was actually acquired in, I believe, summer 2020, 2023. But before that, they actually had two apartments. The very first one was a very tiny apartment that would actually not not require apartment shaming, but if you had one thin man and one obese woman living in that apartment, it might seem like it's too small. Then they moved into an apartment that it was a little bit bigger, and I don't remember if it was this apartment or the first apartment, but either way, the apartment didn't have windows, and it was pointed out to Chantal, and Chantal famously responded that she doesn't even like windows, which is not important, but it's ironic that when they moved into the current apartment, it had huge, large windows, and obviously before they moved in, they did a tour of this empty apartment, and while the windows might not look as big uh, during them living there, she was actually making sure that the viewers noted the large windows that they had. But anyway, the building that they live in supposedly doesn't allow for single people, and in general in Kuwait, uh, a woman is supposedly a woman is not allowed to live together with a man unless they are related, and I'm not sure how far the relation requirement actually goes, whether you can live with your distant cousin. But anyway, the why the apartment is important is because she often refers to the fact that the apartment doesn't allow for unmarried couples, and this must mean that she and Salah uh, are definitely married, because they couldn't they couldn't be in an apartment that only allows married couples. And but by the way, at the same time, Fudi is often referring to wasta, which I'm sure it technically doesn't mean that, but it basically wasta is the same as bride. There are some differences, but basically it means bride. Like if you know someone, what? Okay, not important. So it's a kind of confusing why she insists that she must be legal in order to be in their apartment, but on the other hand, she said, "Oh, there is WASTA and there are loopholes in the law." But actually, the since Foodie Beauty's logic is that that her and Salah are living together in that apartment, and they couldn't live in that apartment if they are not married, and that would mean that they are legally married. I would like to illustrate Foodie Beauty's logic by showing you this $3 bill, and I definitely didn't draw it up myself, and it's definitely a legitimate US dollar bill, because it is illegal to counterfeit money, which means that well, I'm a very pious person, and I'm sorry, that was unnecessary. I'm a very law-abiding citizen, and I'm not doing anything illegal. And since counterfeiting money is illegal, that couldn't be a counterfeit bill, because that is something I would not do. And as far as me mentioning that Sania made a reference of her being not being officially married, she I maybe I should have re-listened to that voice note. But either way, Shania said something about Salah, about Chantal having a tourist permit to enter Kuwait, and and that that Chantal is still on that tourist permit, which means that she couldn't possibly be married to Salah.
Fuck you. Hey yo man, don't take it personal. Peace. I'm outie. Fuck you.